At 5 in the morning, I heard water running and my daughter's voice whispering to someone who wasn't supposed to be there. I didn't scream. I wrote down every sound, every minute, every breath. That was the morning I stopped being her patient and became her witness. I'm Eldora Gaines, 66, retired nurse, widow, and proud owner of 2 titanium knees that hum when the weather changes. I sold my little house in Jackson, Mississippi, thinking it was time for peace and company. Atlanta looked shiny on the map, and my daughter, Dr. Navarra Quinn, insisted I'd love the city life on the Greyhound Inn. I watched the skyline rise through the window. I told myself, new city, same old me. Don't lose your edge, girl. I wanted Sunday dinners and laughter, not to be an old lady tucked in a corner. But deep down, I carried that small fear every mother knows, that once your child runs their own life, you become more symbol than person. When I first stepped into Elysian Tower, the air smelled of citrus and floor polish. The lobby gleamed too clean, like a hospital that forgot it's supposed to feel human. A young man in uniform opened the door and called me ma'am twice in 10 seconds. Navarra swept in wearing her white coat and a look that said, I scheduled this hug. She pressed her cheek to mine, cool and perfumed like her office. You'll love it here. Mom, she said briskly, security's tight, the staff is vetted, and maintenance is 24/7. I nodded, pretending not to miss the tone that used to soothe patients, not mothers. The apartment was picture perfect, quartz counters, no dust, not a fingerprint in sight. The fridge hummed softly, its shelves lined with color-coded bins labeled produce, protein, dairy. I set up a checklist for you, she said, pointing to a laminated chart on the door. Try to follow it. I smiled. Baby, I've been keeping house since before you could spell laundry. She laughed, tight and brief. I noticed a locked cabinet in the bathroom, key turned just so. I told myself it was cleaning supplies. Still, something in me cataloged it, old nurse habit. That evening, we ate rotisserie chicken under a soft white light. I tried talking about church friends and her favorite teacher. She answered with insurance numbers and caseload stats. I heard her say efficiency 3 times before dessert. When I rinsed my plate, she wiped the sink behind me, silent correction disguised as care. I texted my friend Dora Lee, made it safe, place is fancy, feels like a guest room that forgot the host. I slept on crisp sheets that smelled faintly of bleach, the hum of the fridge like a heartbeat I couldn't ignore. At exactly 5 the next morning, the sound of rushing water startled me awake. The shower ran strong, unbroken, like a timed drill. I looked at the clock, 5 hours on the dot. The fan joined in, humming low. I thought, maybe she showers before rounds. But something about the rhythm felt too steady. My nurse brain counted. 17 minutes. Then silence. Then the fan again for 3 more. I whispered into the dark, all right then. The next morning, it happened again. Same time, same length. I began jotting notes in a tiny book. 5 m, 17 minutes citrus scent afterward. On the 3rd day, I woke first. The water started as if cued by my breath. When Navarra sat across from me at breakfast, I asked lightly, You always were a morning bird, huh? She looked puzzled. I don't shower that early. Mom, I sleep till 6. I laughed it off, but my chest tightened. That evening, I placed my coffee mug a little off-center on purpose. She moved it without looking. Order keeps me sane, she murmured. I nodded, feeling something tilt inside me. That night, I dreamed of water. I woke before dawn, the air too still. Then, click, hum, rush. The sound filled the apartment, alive and mechanical. I sat up, staring toward the bathroom door. Patterns tell on people, I whispered, reaching for my notebook and pen. Tomorrow, I wouldn't just listen, I'd be ready. The next morning, my alarm buzzed at 4:58 a.m. I moved quietly, slipping into my robe and house shoes, letting the silence of the apartment press around me. The refrigerator hummed like it had a secret, and the air vents whispered through the stillness. Atlanta outside was sleeping, but I was awake, standing guard. I checked my watch, set the coffee pot to start at 5:20, and whispered, "Patterns tell on people, Eldora." My fingers brushed my small spiral notebook. Measure, don't guess. That's what I'd told every young nurse I ever trained. The clock ticked. My heartbeat matched it. Then came the sound I'd been waiting for. A soft click, then a roar. The shower came alive at exactly 5 or 6. Steam slid under the bathroom door, curling like breath from something alive. I stepped close, careful on the cool tile. The smell hit me, citrus and bleach. Too sharp, too sterile for any morning routine. I'd smelled that mix in triage bays and recovery wards. I noted the time, pressure steady. Fan behind it, humming like a ventilator. When the steam thinned, I saw a towel half hanging from the hamper, a rust-colored smear near the corner. I didn't touch it. I just looked, memorized the shape. My voice. Barely air. I know the difference between iodine and old blood. Then a floorboard popped, sharp as a warning. I backed away, slow and steady, back into my room where I sat in the chair and wrote it all down. At breakfast, Navarra floated into the kitchen at 5:30 sharp, wrapped in a clean robe, hair dry, eyes alert. She smiled like someone performing calm. "Morning, Mom," she said, pouring coffee. I smiled back. "You up early again, baby?" She shrugged. Optimized mornings. I'm most productive before sunrise. I took a sip. Slow. Smells like the clinic in here. Her smile didn't crack. "Just disinfecting wipes. You know me." I nodded. I knew her all right. Organized, efficient, allergic to chance. She straightened the coaster under my mug with 2 fingers. I noticed. I didn't say a word. Later, I mentioned the towel. "Think you nicked yourself shaving?" I said gently. She laughed, too light. "Mom, there's nothing on those towels. You're seeing old dye." She tilted her head, tone shifting into her professional voice, measured, patronizing. "It's normal to feel disoriented in a new environment. You're adjusting." I met her gaze. My brain and I have been together a long time. "Baby, we still get along fine." She gave a little shrug, turned to rules. "Please don't open hampers or touch supplies. I keep things sorted for sanitation." That was gaslighting wrapped in tenderness. I smiled like I agreed and wrote another note later. Observation dismissed, rule imposed. By noon, a new checklist appeared on the fridge. Laminated, color-coded, trash chute hours, laundry schedule, brand of trash liners. "Please use my liners. Others tear." She'd added on a sticky note. I set my mug an inch off center. She corrected it without looking. "You want it just so, don't you?" I said. "Order keeps me sane," she replied. I smiled back. "Respect keeps me steady." That afternoon, I walked the hall with a trash bag in hand. A young custodian passed, pushing a cart stacked with towels and cleaner bottles. The air near my door still smelled faintly of bleach. I crouched, pretending to tie my shoe, and saw a faint streak along the tile. Steam condensation dried uneven. People leave traces, even when they think they don't. When I got back, I made oatmeal slow. "You raised a smart woman," I said to her later. "Let me be the grown one I am." She looked at me over her tablet. "Of course. I just like things optimized." "Optimization's fine," I said. "Respect's finer." For a second, she looked like her younger self. Soft eyes, defensive pride. Then it was gone. "Humor me, Mom," she said. I nodded, but something in me settled like steel. That night, I wrote a new list: time, sound, smell, emotion. No guesses, no fear, just data. Be kind, be sharp, be nobody's fool, I told myself. Then I set my test. A strip of paper just inside the bathroom door. A mirror angled toward the hall. 2 alarms, 4:55 and 4:58. I lay back, hands folded, heart steady. Somewhere, pipes waited. "Order keeps you sane," I whispered. "Truth keeps me alive." I woke at 4:55, Emmy, breath steady, mind sharper than my knees. The paper strip I'd left by the bathroom threshold was still smooth, untouched. My hand mirror waited on the doorframe, angled just right. The hallway was quiet but alive in its own way, air vents humming, the city still asleep beyond the glass. I didn't move much, only enough to start my old nurse's stopwatch. "Slow is smooth, smooth is fast," I whispered. Watching without blinking takes more discipline than speaking. I listened for the truth. At exactly 5, the bathroom light flicked on. Then came the shower's roar, harsh and timed like a drill siren. Steam crept under the door, curling along the tile. The paper strip shifted, folding inward. Proof. Someone had entered, shut the door, and locked it. I eased into the hallway, bare feet soft against the floor. The knob stopped cold when I tested it. Locked. The scent hit me, strong bleach and citrus cleaner, cutting through the air like a chemical fog. That wasn't soap. It was sanitization. The kind done for aftermaths, not hygiene. I stayed still, counting minutes. 5:17. The water stopped. The fan droned another 3 minutes before a faint click released the lock. "You don't need X-ray eyes." "Eldora," I told myself. "You've got a clock." I glanced toward the small security dome at the end of the hallway. Its amber light blinked slow. Maintenance mode. Back in my room, I opened the Elysian Tower app. A gray banner read, "Signal interrupted. 5:25, 5 and 25 M." I chuckled under my breath. "That's a mighty convenient nap, sweetheart." I took a screenshot, emailed it to myself, then added "camera outage" to my notebook. Systems tell stories if you let them. The trick is patience. By 5:35, I had coffee waiting. Navarra appeared, every strand of hair sleek, robe crisp, no trace of moisture anywhere. I said lightly, "Baby, those hallway cameras took a nap right at 5. She didn't flinch. "Scheduled maintenance. Mom, happens every month. Then we can pull the notice later, can't we?" I smiled, stirring sugar. She adjusted the coaster under my mug, the same little habit, eyes calm but guarded. "Patterns help us all stay honest," I said. Her blinks slowed. She changed the subject to patient load and billing codes. The shift was too smooth. I filed it away. After she left for her early consult, I passed the supply cabinet in the hallway. Its silver padlock gleamed under the LED light. I didn't touch it, just looked. Tiny scratches near the latch, a tacky residue on the handle. I took a picture, whispered. Same lock they used for med carts. Then I recorded an audio note. Cabinet lock daily, handle tacky, possibly sanitizer. Collect, corroborate, continue, later. I went downstairs, casual as you please. "Morning," I said to the concierge. Those cameras act up early often? He smiled politely. Not really. Ma'am, maybe last week, an upgrade. Want me to log it if it happens again? Your kind son, I said, handing him a peppermint from my pocket. I noted the time and his name on my phone before heading back up. No ripples, no tells. Back inside, I tested my tools. My phone's recorder picked up the hum of the shower even from my bed. I taped another strip under the bathroom door and drew a pencil line on a folded towel beside it. If anything splattered again, I'd know. You're not sneaking, I murmured. You're safeguarding. I whispered a small prayer, short and steady. Protection doesn't always come in noise. Sometimes it comes in knowing. Around noon, I heard it, a single thud from behind that locked cabinet, dull but deliberate. I froze, waited. 3 seconds. Silence. The kind that feels aware of itself. I lifted my phone and recorded the quiet, heart steady but heavy. Whatever you're keeping, child, I whispered. It won't stay kept. I woke before the alarm. 4:50 on the dot. My knees complained, but my breath stayed even. No lights, no noise, just the low hum of the vent. I laid everything out. Phone set to record, backup battery, watch, small spiral notebook, and my pen. The paper strip went by the threshold, towel folded neatly with a pencil mark down the center. I drafted a text to myself. Recording underway, 5:25, ready to hit send. I whispered, clarity, not fear, and said a nurse's old creed under my breath. Observe, record, protect. I knew what I was doing wasn't meddling. It was witnessing. I took my seat 2 feet from the bathroom door, robes cinched, slippers soft against the tile. The hand mirror caught just the lowest sliver of the door gap. The phone's voice memo app glowed once before I flipped it face down. The red light on the hallway camera blinked, steady green. Everything was quiet but charged, the way a hospital feels right before a code call. I noted the faint tang of bleach already in the air, an echo from the night before. Then I waited. At exactly 5, the click came, light first. Then the shower, bursting alive like a timer had flipped. Steam crawled under the door. The paper strip folded inward, locked again. My heart stayed steady as I leaned just enough to catch the reflection in the mirror. My daughter. Sleeves rolled, pouring liquid from a small container into the tub. There was movement inside, not just water. A man's shoulders broke the surface, slumped, head tilted against the porcelain. He exhaled, slow and rasping. I didn't breathe. Navarra leaned close, said something low I couldn't make out, then adjusted the water knob. The stream grew stronger. His breath grew faint. I mouthed one word, Lord. But my hands never shook. Old training wrapped around my pulse like armor. The phone kept rolling. I whispered into it, marking the minutes. Water high, minute 7. I slid it closer, catching 5 seconds of video. No faces, just her hands, the container, the slumped man. The timestamp burned bright in the corner. Her voice came through clear now. You'll sleep. You'll be calm. Then a cap twisting, the click of plastic against tile. I glimpsed the label, blue stripe, white cap, just enough to note. When the water stopped at 5:17, I stepped back. Fan still running, lock clicking free at 5:20. I reset my chair as if nothing had ever been moved. I saved the recording. May God watch 0500-0520. Emailed it to myself, backed it to the cloud folder I'd made on day 2. I wiped the mirror edge with my sleeve, lifted the paper strip gently into my notebook, and photographed the towel's faint mist mark. Watch face, too. Chain of custody. Clean, exact, unshakable. You saw? You saved? You stay steady, I whispered. sliding everything back into place. At 5:35, coffee brewed. She floated in, same robe, same polished calm. "Sleep all right?" I asked. "Optimized morning," she said. Her tone was sugar, laid over control. "You?" "Got some notes to sort," I said. She centered my mug again. 2 fingers precise. "Clinic deliveries come on schedule?" I added. "Of course. All regulated, you'd be proud." "I'm always proud when people stay inside the lines," I said. Soft but pointed. Her blink lasted a fraction too long. Later. I went to the mailroom level, uploaded files again on the public Wi-Fi, and printed timestamp receipts. "Chain of truth," I murmured, folding the papers into my purse. I smiled at the concierge, chatting about the early shift, and asked nothing more about the cameras. On my way up, I packed a small go bag. ID, pension card, pills, keys. The kind of packing you can do without panic. "This isn't running," I told myself. "It's documenting." Near noon, her voice came down the hall. "Don't fuss with the hall cabinet, Mom. It's just supplies." My pulse steadied. I hadn't mentioned the cabinet once today. "I won't fuss," I said, clear as glass. The truth was already packed, on a drive, in the cloud, and in my bones. The clock read 5:28 M. when I sat at the edge of my bed, back straight, pulse even. My hands didn't shake as I renamed the file May God Watch Auto 500-520. I made 2 duplicates, one local, one encrypted, and emailed myself with a timestamp in the subject line. I exported the 5-second video clip to a small silver USB drive, labeling it in neat block letters, 5-day 6. My old nurse habit surfaced. I photographed my analog watch beside the phone screen so the timestamps would align. On an index card, I wrote a clean incident summary. No emotion, just fact. The USB and card slid into the sleeve of my wallet, close to my pulse. That's where the truth belonged. I compressed the digital files into a password-protected folder, then called my home landline and left the password on voicemail, old school safety. A blind copy went to a folder titled Home Inventory, invisible in plain sight. Downstairs, the lobby kiosk hummed as I printed the email headers. Receipts, signatures, time. I snapped pictures of each printout for my notes app. "Documentation keeps elders safe," I murmured, tucking the papers into the back of my Bible inside the suitcase. Paper and faith, 2 things I trusted. By 6, I began to pack. 1 ID, 1 pension card, 1 insurance folder, a week's worth of clothes, rolled tight. I left behind every sentimental thing, let dust keep the past. A sticky note on the mirror read, "Appointment at 10, harmless, believable." My small notebook listed 3 numbers, Pastor Lila, Dr. Nufta Kent, and Cedar Hollow's front desk. I wiped the counters, made the bed, even left the rent envelope on the nightstand. Nobody could say I skipped out. My suitcase waited at the door like a promise. "Slow is smooth," I said to my reflection, "and smooth is strong." The elevator doors closed with a hush. "Morning, son," I greeted the night concierge, the kind one with tired eyes. "You stay safe now." He smiled, handed me a printed record of camera uptime, routine. He thought. Outside, dawn cracked over Atlanta's skyline, pale pink on glass towers. I ordered a rideshare and texted myself the driver's plate for good measure. "Pretty morning," he said when I climbed in. "Clear roads." "Clear's what I need," I replied. I didn't look back until the building shrank in the side mirror. When I did, I whispered. "Peace travels when you carry your own keys." Cedar Hollow smelled like lemon oil and early coffee. The woman at the front desk, Doralee Finch, offered water and a packet thick with forms. I answered everything cleanly: medications, allergies, next of kin. Paid the week's fee from my pension debit, no hesitation. "We'll keep a drawer locked for your valuables," Doralee said kindly. "That'll do," I answered. Inside that drawer, the USB and receipts settled with quiet authority. I texted my church friend, "I'm safe." Sunlight touched the oak branches outside, and for the first time in days, my breath came full. I unpacked my little life: blood pressure cuff, Bible, one framed photo of Harold smiling beside his old Buick. I made the bed tight, corners crisp. Work continued. Called my doctor's office, updated the address, scheduled next week's check-in. Walked the garden path once. Birds, benches, soft warmth spreading across the brick. "You didn't run," I told myself. "You relocated to the truth." Before resting, I sent a brief text to Navarra. "Staying at Cedar Hollow for a bit? I'm fine." Then I placed the phone face down and wrote a timeline from day 1 to day 6, leaving blanks for whatever came next. I prayed for the man in the tub, no name, just breath left in his body. A knock came at noon, firm but polite. I opened the door to a tall man wearing a Cedar Hollow badge. "Virgil Keyes, head of security," he said. His eyes were kind, voice steady. "Ma'am, the concierge at Elysian forwarded an email you might want to see." He held up a printout. The timestamp glowed bold across the top, 5 L'Aigre a.m., matching my file exactly. Virgil Keyes stood at my doorway like a man who'd already seen too many truths. I cleared the small table, laid the USB in the center, and locked the door behind him. "Let's line the paper trail straight," I said. He nodded, placing a printout from the Elysian concierge on the table. "Camera outage, 4:58 to 5:24 a.m. Floor 18, he read aloud. His tone was factual, but the look in his eyes told me this mattered. "That timestamp sings the same hymn as your file, ma'am." I opened my notebook, showing him my handwritten timeline, the analog photo of my watch beside the phone, and the email headers. "Clean chain," he murmured, signing his initials across the margin. "Next step, make 2 off-site copies. One stays with you, one goes to law enforcement." I asked quietly, "And if it gets loud, will Cedar Hollow back me?" He answered without pause. "On documentation, yes, ma'am." That was enough. We used the admin office computer. Doralee signed off on witness duty, hands steady on the counter. Virgil labeled the drives, number 1 master, number 2 law copy. I signed each sticker, wrote the date, and snapped a photo. We printed a chain of custody slip, both of us signing the bottom like veterans of a quiet war. "Paper keeps truth from getting bullied," I said, almost to myself. He smiled faintly. "Deputy Mara Ellison's the one you want. Square shooter, no fuss." I scheduled an appointment through his phone, and by early afternoon, a rideshare was waiting to take us to APD. I told the driver, "Midtown Precinct, back entrance." No talk beyond weather and gas prices. Deputy Ellison met us in a beige interview room, its hum like a hospital corridor. I sat upright, voice steady, no drama. I recited every day, every time, every smell. She didn't interrupt, only typed. We handed her the law copy USB. She sealed it in a tamper-proof bag, signed the strip, then asked for my phone audio by airdrop. "Ma'am, you kept your head," she said quietly. "Head's what God left me to work with," I replied. When she mentioned a temporary protective order, I nodded once. A wall of ink would do till a real one stood. Then her phone chimed. A woman named Loretta Vale, neighbor from Elysian's opposite wing, had emailed in footage from her condo camera, accidental angle down our hallway. The clip showed 5:21 a.m. Navarra leaving our apartment with her robe sleeves rolled, carrying a covered bin. For half a second, a man's bare foot appeared behind the doorframe. I felt the air thin, but I stayed still. "Public space footage," Mara said. "Solid chain." She logged it under my case. Virgil leaned forward, murmured, "That's the piece we needed, ma'am." I nodded, not triumphant, just anchored. "I'm a mother," I whispered, "but I'm also a witness." The report took shape like a careful wound dressing. I corrected one timestamp. Mara amended it, initialed beside mine. The TPO papers listed each boundary. No contact, no entry. 200 yards minimum. "It's just ink till someone reads it," I said. "Then it's a wall." She stamped, signed, sealed. The law finally spoke in my language. Order, precision, truth. Back outside. My phone buzzed. Navarra's voice, velvet and sharp. "Mom, return home. This is embarrassing." I didn't answer. A text followed. "You'll ruin us both." Another, "I'm the physician here." I forwarded them to Mara, who replied, "That's harassment. Ma'am, don't engage." I set the phone to do not disturb, laid it face down, and walked into the cooling air. "Nameplates don't make truth," I murmured. By dusk, Mara called. Loretta's affidavit filed, her footage archived. The magistrate had signed the TPO. APD served it within the hour. Cedar Hollow posted a notice at the front desk. No access granted to Dr. Navarra Quinn. Virgil verified cameras, added my photo to the safety roster. Dora Lee poured me tea. "You did the right thing," she said softly. "You saw me as worth the rule book," I replied. At 9:12 that night, a knock. Not police, journalist, a tall black woman, calm eyes, card extended. "Yvonne Strickland, local press. I've been tracking reports from Elysian." Virgil stayed close, silent sentinel. She said there were other towers, other wellness procedures before dawn. "I need someone on record," she said. I looked her dead in the eye. "I don't gossip," I told her. "But I don't hide truth." I pocketed her card. "Come back with a recorder and a lawyer," I said, "and I'll bring the water's voice." Morning came with that clean hush after rain, the kind that makes you believe in second chances. Virgil arrived first. Crisp suit, no wasted words. Yvonne followed with her phone tripod, and Attorney Collier Frank laid down a neat folder marked Evidence Chain, Gaines. I unlocked my drawer, set the master USB aside, and placed a working copy on the table. "This stays here," I told them. "We drew our lines. My name could be public. No apartment number. The man in the tub unnamed until APD confirmed welfare. Collier reviewed everything, emails, photos, the watch image, and said, 'Cleaner than half my court files.' I rehearsed my statement. No trembling. 'I'm speaking at 4. Pray for clarity, not thunder.' I texted my church friend, then sipped water until my hands stopped buzzing. By 4 o'clock, Cedar Hollow's multi-purpose room turned into a small press hub. Yvonne's tripod light blinked alive, streaming to local outlets. Virgil stood near the exit, calm and solid. I began. "My name is Eldora Gaines. I am 66 years old. I keep notes. Each timestamp I read appeared on screen. 4:58 light. Vasaivo shower, 5:17 off, 5:20 lock, 5:20 mas on exit." I played 12 seconds of audio, the rush of water, a click, and a woman's low voice. "You'll sleep, you'll be calm." Gasps rippled. I said simply, "That is enough for today." Collier stepped forward, showing the APD stamped protective order. "We filed," he said, "and the law has begun its work." I ended. "This isn't about shame. It's about safety. Elders keep records. We don't whisper when water roars." Then I set the mic down and walked off. Minutes later, Navarra swept in with her PR aide, voice clipped and smooth. "My mother is confused. These are wellness checks." She waved documents like stage props. All approved protocols. I turned once. Protocols don't lock doors at 5 in the morning. Baby. Yvonne displayed the hallway still. My daughter with rolled sleeves, a bin in hand, a bare foot behind the door. The room fell silent but for the hum of truth. Collier announced we'd filed with Adult Protective Services and the medical board. Virgil enforced the TPO quietly, walking her out as cameras clicked. Upstairs, I signed 3 documents, revoking power of attorney, assigning Dora Lee and my church friend as proxies, and adding a codicil, my new beginning clause. Anyone who harms or deceives forfeits inheritance. Funds go to elder safety grants. Collier notarized, filed, and queued the certified mail. I sealed a short letter to Navarra. When you are ready to tell the truth, bring a lawyer and a pastor, I whispered. Revenge is paperwork that stands up in daylight. Calls came quick. APS thanked me for model documentation. The medical board opened a case, requesting timestamps and audio. APD confirmed the man was alive, in care, name protected. I wrote in my notebook, he lives. The water did not win. That evening, the garden filled with folding chairs, pound cake, and quiet pride, Loretta FaceTimed in, waving her mug. "Miss Gaines, you made us check our locks," a neighbor joked. Dora Lee taped a sign near the urn. Patterns keep us honest. I felt the knot in my chest finally ease. My church friend texted, "You'll speak at Sunday's Elder Safety Workshop." I replied with a single heart emoji. Enough said. Later, I called Elysian's concierge. "Please forward my last box to Cedar Hollow." My voice held steady, polite. I folded my robe, set a new alarm for 7. No more 5 a.m. watches. Peace isn't passive, I told myself. It's scheduled, signed, and witnessed. As twilight spread across the oaks, my phone buzzed. Yvonne. 2 more towers, same hour, same script. I smiled faintly. "Bring sturdy shoes," I texted back. "We've got steps to climb." The hush of water no longer frightened me. When water learns to lie, elders learn to document. The evening air held that strange stillness before something shifts. I closed my notebook, but the pen kept rolling toward the edge, like it knew more pages waited. Across town, a news alert blinked. Another tower, another wellness protocol. My pulse steadied. Maybe the water hadn't finished speaking after all.